So guys, we're back. Are you coming?
I'm here.
She's back. So guys, sorry for the little bit of a delay. We didn't get a video out, and Maddie got a video out from the last event. She was, I wasn't feeling so good at Edgewater. We raced Cincinnati Street Nights, I guess you could say. We had some issues, but we went through, and when I say we, mostly Maddie went through and took the car apart. Then what was it? So Cincinnati Street Nights, let's give them a little recap from that. 2 weeks ago. So guys, I was in the hospital for like a week last week. It is Friday at about noon, and a week after my hospital stay. So I'm gonna try to drive tomorrow at no Prep Mania 5.5. I wanted to go out testing today or last night, but
Wasn't in the cards.
it wasn't in the cards. And we're getting ready to go on a little bit of an adventure for like, what, 8 days probably? Probably.
Yeah, be on the road for a couple days.
We'll probably be on the road for 8 days, starting today, and I just didn't want to stretch that out any longer than we had to. So, we're going to go through and we'll talk about that in a minute. But, okay, Cincy Street Nights. I was in bad shape. No lie.
You guys saw it.
You got it. The people that were there.
Yeah,
people that were there, they noticed it. Luckily, friends of ours, Lonnie, Bernie, and Justin, had a trailer that had a full AC and a killer AC unit, and I stayed in that basically the whole day and the whole evening and stuff like that. Well, we had some transmission issues and some converter issues, and nothing broken, but it wasn't right, so we had to fix it. Maddie goes through, and that's the last video, right? Maddie goes through, gets everything prepped to pull the transmission out, and you got done at probably what, 3 o'clock in the morning?
It's closer to 4.
Well, yeah, she probably got done at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, and then she came in the bus and woke me up. Then I went through, undid the converter bolts, and it got the tranny to slide back and a couple other little things. And then about 5 o'clock in the morning, I go wake her up, and we pulled the tranny out. I got my little roll around toolbox in here. Everything's still loaded from the trip. We haven't touched the car in 2 weeks, and we should probably be doing a little bit more maintenance, but we'll be talking about that. So we use that toolbox there, and we lower the car down from the lift onto the toolbox, and I put a piece of 2x12 or whatever it is under there, so that because you can't adjust the height, right? So I slide a piece of 2x4, 2x12 under there, so we can get the tranny out without putting pressure on the transmission or putting pressure on the front pump of the converter or front pump of the transmission and stuff like that. So we get the tranny out, and then we lay down until what, 7 o'clock in the morning, something like that.
Yeah, it was only like short nap.
We slept for like another hour or so, and then we went over to our buddy's place. We got to thank Lonnie over at Extreme Automatics. He helped us out a lot, fellow racers, and he was just real close to the track, and it was very convenient. So we went through everything, and we found an issue, something I screwed up on. Nothing broken, but
yeah, thankfully nothing was hurt, nothing was broken.
And
we were able to fix it.
So,
which is why I was able to race on Saturday.
Yep. So we talked about having Maddie race on Friday, but honestly, when we got there, I thought we had the car fixed to run Cincy Street Nights and try to be competitive. Well, my first pass, I put a tune-up in it that should have went 155 miles, probably 155 miles an hour to the 8th, and it went 131. That was pitiful. So I knew we had issues.
Is that your test pass, or was that first round?
That was test pass.
Okay.
They ran a decent ET, but you're not competing at Cincy Street Nights going 131 miles an hour. You just ain't. So on the 1 to 2 shift, it basically just stopped moving. So I was like, we're screwed here. There just ain't nothing about it. So we tried to do a couple changes, and like
so they thought the converter, what was?
I thought the Greg Metcalf, he gave me the idea of possibly the dump valve stuck open again. So before second round, I believe it was, or before first round, literally like 5 minutes before the round, I ran into the trailer, and I got a cap and I got a plug, and I capped off and plugged off the dump valve to make sure there wasn't no cross bleed in there, bleeding off the pressure. Well, I didn't fix the issue. It went 131 miles an hour again. Same thing. Hit second gear, and it was just slow as hell. And I think with the ETs that we could run, we debated about running. I debated about not even touching anything. I knew it was wrong, but 131 miles an hour with a good enough 60-foot time, I feel like we could have possibly done all right at Dragway 42 with Maddy driving. But yeah, it wasn't right. So Maddy was like, "Hey, let's go do it. Let's pull the transmission out of the car and let's review it." So I had a spare transmission that we could have put back in if we had to, but it's not up to par. It would have been plenty good for that. It's plenty good for about 1,500 horsepower, but it's not plenty good for. We would have had to pull it out again before we started trying to go fast. Okay, for like no Prep Mania or something like that this weekend. Well, where was I just at? Do you want to hold the phone for a minute? You could hold the phone for a minute.
Can we switch sides?
Yeah. So we knew it wasn't going to be happy. Long story short, we get the tranny fixed. We don't. Yeah, we get the tranny fixed.
Well, we get it looked at. Like, we make sure nothing's
wrong
with it and put it back together.
And I won't lie. I'll tell you. I screwed up. I had the stator in backwards. You believe that stuff? So, long story short, I spent $1,800 in fuel money driving off to Ice Cream Cruise. Looked like a fool. Spent another $250 entering the street race in Mexico. Looked like a fool. Go back to Ice Cream Cruise to run small tire. Looked like a fool. Come to Cincy Street Nights, thinking we fixed it or put a good enough Band-Aid on it to run it. Looked like a fool. And yeah, so I went through, and I was hurting. I wasn't doing good. My stomach issues were bad. So yeah, we drove what, 3,000 miles? Something like 3,000 miles.
Probably.
Looked like idiots. We had some fun. We met some damn good people out at Ice Cream Cruise. But yeah, it was a big waste of money, and that's racing, right? Over something stupid. You know, I've never made that mistake before, and I promise you I'll never make that mistake again. We change stators quite a bit. We do a lot of changes like that to get ready, and it is what it is.
It was really interesting for me, though, to learn, like, about the structure of the stator, I guess, and like being able to see the converter open and seeing the transmission open. I've never like been in front of the transmission while it's been torn apart, so it was kind of cool to see that. And
well, I pulled the one tranny apart at Pour Your Own Puddle with the 30. Remember?
No.
We did it in the trailer. Were you there? You were there. No, were you there that time? Or did you miss that trip?
I might have missed it. I don't remember.
I
could have been there, but I just don't remember.
I remember Mike from Detroit Hood TV came over, and he's like, "What the hell are you doing?" All the racers were gone, but because we were racing the next day. All the racers were gone, and it's like, I'm not going to the race like this. Like,
oh, was that the like first time we met him? Really?
One of the first times we met Mike from Detroit Hood TV, and I was like, "We got issues here," so I literally pulled the whole transmission apart on our merchandise table, and fixed it, got it back together. What was that? One of the seals or something like that, but I had some spare parts, so I replaced the seals in transmission. We assembled it back up.
On the pump?
I don't know, something like that.
I don't know. I don't remember that being torn apart, but either way.
I think Troy was there with us.
Yeah.
Maybe.
He's been there a couple times. Either way, it was cool to see like the insides of the transmission and have like Nick and Lonnie kind of explain to me.
Yeah, walking through the process.
Like, yeah, how, like, taking it apart and what part was what and what it did, I guess.
And as soon as I pulled the converter apart, which is really, in this car I built it fairly well and fairly easy to maintain and stuff like that. We could have pulled the converter and fixed it in an hour, no joke. Like, less than an hour. Like, I could do
from the start. Like, we could have done that
I could do a stator
in
change.
Iowa.
if I'm feeling all right, I could do a stator change by myself in the car, pulling the tranny out, taking the converter apart, putting it back in, and running, like shut off to running. It's hot. I could do it in about 45 minutes. Well, as soon as I pulled it apart, I was looking at it. I was like, this don't look right. I was looking at the way the pressure is, and a stator. I wish we could do a picture, but this is just gonna be a raw video. But there's a snap ring on one side that holds your mechanical diode, your mechanical diode, your sprag, or in this case, we were running a spragless deal because we could make some changes with it basically. So you got the billet stator. It's fabricated, but it's the billet center, fabricated fins, and a billet ring. And it's basically a big fan, okay? In the center of it, so you got the center here, right? Then your mechanical diode, your sprag, or your spragless billet center goes in there, and then a snap ring goes in there, right? And yeah, as soon as I looked at it, I'm looking at the way the pressure is, right? And the pressure, the way it was assembled in the converter, the pressure, just by the fluid passages, the way the fluid goes through there, the pressure was pushing on the snap ring. I was like, there's no freaking way, there's no engineer in this world. There's a lot of engineers in this world that would build something that hydraulic or fluid pressure pushes on a snap ring versus the billet side of it, like versus a solid structural piece. And I was like, Lonnie, this can't be right. I said, isn't this fluid pushing on the snap ring that holds it in? Super strong, of course, and everything like that, but it's not designed. It's designed to hold something in place, not designed to hold pressure, right? And we fixed it. So, skipping a little bit farther along.
Well, the other thing too that I learned, right, is are they splines on the stator?
Yeah.
Like are offset? They're not centered?
Oh yeah, they're offset.
So the shaft from the transmission.
The input shaft. Front pump shaft? Yeah, the front pump.
That's why I just said shaft.
The front pump. The front pump is, depending on if you have a billet pump or like a factory style pump, the splines can be anywhere from like 5/8 of an inch to like 1.5 inches, right? Well, the front pump I have on my car is one of the intermediate length shafts. It's about 3/4 of an inch long. The splines on it, okay? Still engages everything fine, but the splines don't fully engage when it's in backwards because it's an offset spline on that center piece that I was talking about, the stator, the spragless setup, or the sprag, depending on the mechanical diode sprag, or the spragless billet piece that you run. So, they just manipulate things in the training. That's not what this video is about. So, yeah. So, it was in backwards. So we fix it, and we hauled butt to, well, we hung out for like 15 minutes.
Okay, also, Nick's phone was still
I was
in the
gonna
wrong...
get there.
Oh.
So, okay, we get there, and we're talking a little bit, and then we start driving out. And I'm thinking we got an extra hour or so, right? Hour, 2 hours worth of time before chip draw. That we'll get there, and we have an hour to get the transmission back up in the car, and plenty of time, right?
Plenty of time.
Plenty of time. My phone was in the wrong time zone. So,
Nick's like, what time does the GPS say? I was like, whatever time it was, 5 o'clock or whatever, which was when chip draw, like 4:53 or something like that, and chip draw was at 5 o'clock or whatever it was.
And I was like, there's no way this is like a 6 hour or 5 hour ride. This is supposed to be like, you know, a 4 hour ride or 3 hour ride. And our phones were in different time zones. My phone that I'm looking at, watching the time as we're, you know, doing everything together, because I figured we had to leave there by noon. We leave there by noon at like Western time, Iowa, or freaking Nebraska time, not East Coast time. So yeah, we get there and we're late. And
well, for one reason or another, it kind of worked out in our favor because they ended up moving first round, or not. They ended up moving the chip draw, which moved
I can't
first
say
round.
it worked out in our favor, We got lucky.
I got lucky, yeah.
We got lucky because we weren't racing, like we weren't going to get it done in time if we didn't have, if they didn't get the delay. So we get there, and we parked the bus, and one racer, he came up to us and he was all like, "Rah, rah, rah, rah. You can't park here." So we moved down the road, all right, and we started unloading the thing. And I'm like, I don't even have shoes on, right? Like, we're just like, I'm doing my best, and I'm still hurting, right? Like, I ain't doing good.
Sliding around in tranny fluid on the floor of the trailer.
Yeah. So luckily enough, there was 2 or 3 fellow racers.
Yeah.
That came over, and they're like, "What you need?" I said, "Well, we got a car that can win this deal. I'm not driving today because like I don't feel up to it. But like Maddie's busted her butt the last 2 months, and I'm trying to get her in the car so she could race her first time in competition." So they helped us out immensely, and we got the transmission up in the car. They got the drive shaft in and like all that stuff, right? So Maddie's going to chip draw, and like we were still bolting up the drive shaft and stuff like that. So we roll out of the car. I get the transmission fluid in it. We run it through the gears. Everything's pretty decent. We get back, and Maddie makes her first pass, and
that was pitiful.
It was bad. So, you know, want to do a confession? We'll do a video after this of confessions of this event. Okay? Getting back, we'll do another video, okay? We'll try to post another video tomorrow while we're racing at Marion County. So, or we'll try to upload it tonight and have it so it post tomorrow. So, we'll do a video here very shortly of talking about Maddie's deal. So guys, now we're going to skip that, and she'll talk about that. The video evidence is on her channel, Lady Gangster Racing. It's she's starting her own little deal there. Pretty cool, and I'm excited.
Be like a different perspective of what I'm going through with the racing, and also if I get more seat time and stuff like that, it'll be pretty cool to share some of that with you guys.
And she'll so there'll be her perspective on things, and then we'll have like the Hustling Horsepower deal, and there'll be like two different avenues, right? And just like in life, right? You could go experience the same things, but you get them from 2 different perspectives, and you guys will be able to see both perspectives of it, and it'll be pretty cool. And there'll be times when Maddie's going out and doing her own thing or something like that, while I'm cooped up or something like that. If I'm stuck on the couch with my medical conditions or something like that, Maddie might go to a race or something like that. And
she'll load up the bus and trailer and head out myself.
Yeah, maybe she'll go be a Lone Ranger for a little while, go racing by herself. She needs a little more seat time before that, but hey, maybe. Well, actually the bus is for sale, and this stacker trailer is for sale. We're going on an 8-day road trip, so that'll be a video right after that. So we're gonna try to start upping these up a little bit here. So another thing that I want to talk about is kind of heartbreaking. I don't know, the people that have been following along for a little while, you've heard about the Future of Drag Racing program that I wanted to start, and it literally like makes me sad. But I bought 2 junior dragsters just out of pocket after I sold my house. I was fortunate enough to make a little bit of money on my house, and a couple, Brandon Pape and his wife, along with Chris Simpkin and his son, gave me 2 pretty good deals on 2 junior dragsters, and with their knowledge that I was starting this program, so they gave me a pretty good discount on them, and the plan was to loan these junior dragsters out to families with little kids who can't afford a junior dragster, okay? And in doing so, they'd be able to get acclimated to the sport. I love the sport, like it's my life, right? In many aspects of my life. There's others, of course, there's more to life than just racing, but
more to your life or more to like everybody's life?
I don't know. So it depends on your perspective, right? So I love this stuff, right? Racing's it's not chess, it's not badminton. There's risks involved, and unfortunately, due to that, I couldn't find a lawyer, and was advised by multiple lawyers and multiple people that there's no way that I can let someone borrow these junior dragsters without putting my neck on the line and potentially getting sued. And that's sad because, you know, I don't know about 20 years ago, but, you know, 30, 40 years ago, you'd be able to do something like that, and people, you wouldn't have to worry about someone coming after you. You know what I mean? Like karma, right? You'd like, karma was very, I don't know. I'm only 30 years old, so. But from the stories of my grandparents, no, the world wasn't so soup happy back then, and the world wasn't so apt to want a freebie. So unfortunately, I had to post them up for sale, and it kind of sucks. And I'm still going to use that money, or some of that money, to do something for the kids. We give away a lot of kids shirts and stuff like that to kids that come to the track for the first time or something like that, and try to make their experience at the racetrack as memorable as possible, and let them sit in the cars and let them experience this life that has done so much for me and so much for many people, growing as a human being, right? Racing's a whole lot more than competing. I love that aspect of it, but the camaraderie and the sportsmanship and the meeting of new people, a lot of you guys that follow along, you're damn near family to us, right? Like when I was in the hospital last week, I got quite a few messages, personal messages and stuff like that, and they're just like, you know, just short little messages, like, you know, just people that are genuinely, honestly, caring about, you know, showing some love, and it's appreciated, guys. It really means a lot to me. I do the best with I can with my medical condition, but it's pretty severe right now. So I gotta take it very easy. I won't lie with you. I'm on a 10-pound weight restriction right now, so I gotta be very careful on the things that I do. Maddie, I plan on driving tomorrow at Marion County. I wasn't not advised not to do it. Fortunately, Maddie's going to be there. We'll have some friends there as well to help out, and like Corey Butcher, I believe, is showing up there, and they'll help me run the program. I'm literally just going to sit there on the computer, put in the tune-up, and steer the car, and they got to do everything else. Like, I'm not even supposed to be like picking up a 5-gallon fuel jug to fuel up the car. So I'm very fortunate for those people, and for the last 2 months or so, the car would be parked if it wasn't for Maddie and some of the other people that help us out at the racetrack, and I very much appreciate that. We enjoy the hell out of this, and especially after losing the 30 and busting my butt for 5 months straight and living like a damn peasant to build a new car. It means a whole lot that we get to come out and go racing. It was looking pretty bleak in like April. It was looking like I was going to have surgery April, and then the doctor said, hey, let's try these infusions and stuff like that, and some other medical practices before we go and do the full surgery to try to get you through summer. And I'm thankful for that. It's bit me in my butt. I was in the hospital for 5 days or whatever. Was admitted into the emergency room because of my medical condition. And yeah, so long story short, I'm very thankful to be going out to the racetrack, and I'm very happy to be able to come out to Marion County tomorrow, and it means a lot. So I'm thankful for that. But
We're going to Magnolia.
Sorry, Magnolia. I mixed the two up. The plan is to go Magnolia Saturday, and then be at Marion the following Saturday. So 7 days apart, and we got some road trips to do between that. So that'll be in 2 videos. But we got the 2 junior dragsters out here in the back of the trailer, and we're taking those to Magnolia tomorrow. And those 2 junior dragsters, they sold within 5 minutes. I wheel and deal just as much as anyone else out there, but on a moral standpoint, I didn't want to profit off of the junior dragsters in any way, shape, or form. So I sold them for what Brandon Pape and his wife and Chris Simpkin sold them to me for, so we could pass on that deal to a family that could capitalize on getting them kids into some fairly inexpensive junior dragsters and get out racing. And I'm glad to say that both these kids that are getting these junior dragsters have never, ever, ever raced. Like, they're young, and one's younger, a little bit younger than the other one, so the younger one will get the slower car and the older one will get the faster car. But I'm very excited, and I'm happy to know that they're going to two people that are from a working class family, or kids that are from a working class family out of Southern Ohio, and they will be getting two junior dragsters. And their parents, I think it was their dad and their uncle.
Do the kids know?
No,
or is
I don't
this going to
believe
be
so.
a surprise?
I think it's going to be a surprise tomorrow.
That's awesome.
So they're coming up to Magnolia, and depending on the time, they live about 4 or 5 hours from Magnolia. So we're hoping they can come up and watch some racing. I'm not sure on that because it is a 5-hour race, and the race doesn't start until 7 o'clock. So it's going to be a little, it'd be a late night for them. But there's a possibility that they're going to come up here and watch the racing. If not, we're going to try to give them a tour of, they'll get the junior dragsters, and we'll give them a tour of like the 33 and stuff like that. And I don't know, maybe walk around the pits with them and explain some stuff to them. So that'll be pretty cool. But we got the two junior dragsters in the back that we're loading up in the trailer tonight, and that's gonna be pretty freaking exciting. So, do we want to wrap up this video here? It's kind of a long one.
My arm's getting tired. When you asked me to hold the video or hold the camera, I didn't think it was gonna be for this long.
I let you.
But I should have known better.
I think I gave you the camera at 7 minutes, and we're at 26. So, guys, we appreciate the support of this dream, and Maddie's got a little bit of.
You just call me mayonnaise?
Yeah, mayonnaise. You're looking a little pasty. No.
Well, I was looking real ghost earlier in the video. Like the lighting was bad.
Maddie's got a quote that she came across today, and I think you should share it with them.
I don't know what it is off the top of my head.
You don't?
I mean, I know the gist of it, but...
Okay, guys, I'll tell you the quote. We ain't living. You gonna do it?
Oh, gosh. Something about, like... Hang on. Cut. Pause.
We ain't pausing this because I ain't editing it.
Okay. Die with memories, not dreams. So that's what we're gonna do. We're dying with memories and not the dream of like wishing we did something.
So, a lot of people think we're making money doing this stuff or anything like that, but we're just out here trying to live life. And coming from my perspective, I lived life a whole lot different before the accident and before my medical condition got as bad as it did within the last 2 years. And between those two, scenarios, it really changes your perspective. So life. Sometimes I was talking to the guy that's buying the junior dragsters last night. We talked on the phone for 2 hours, and we met him at Cincy Street Nights, and we talked for 2 hours.
Oh,
and,
when you weren't feeling good, he was there for that one?
He came up to, he was the one talking to us while I was curled up in the friggin' chair. He had a near-death experience as well, or a eye-opening experience. And we got to talking, and I was like, you know what? A lot of people aren't fortunate enough, as crazy as this sounds, okay? Some of you might think I'm crazy. A lot of people aren't fortunate enough to be in a medical position that he experienced and I experienced, or in a like a bad car crash or something like that, right? They haven't been fortunate enough to experience that. And as crazy as that sounds, until you face death in the eye, or until you realize that there's like legit serious potential that you could die tomorrow or die from an experience that you had, you can't really appreciate life. And as crazy as that sounds, I'm thankful for having that accident. And I don't know how many times I'll say that, because financially I lost my butt, and I invested thousands and thousands of hours into that car, on top of the working you know, 3 overtimes a week, 4 overtimes a week for, you know, 4 years straight to be able to afford to build that car and race that car and upgrade that car to the point it was. But as bad as my medical condition is right now, I'm fortunate enough to be facing that right now, because it really opens your eyes and really changes you as a human being about the things that you're appreciative of, and it changes a lot of aspects of life. But before I start tearing up here or something like that, we'll cut the video. But guys, to all of you that support this journey, I know we've gotten a couple somewhat nasty emails because we didn't get all the shirts shipped out. Guys, I'm sorry, I was in the hospital for we got some of the shirts in before we left for our trip, and as soon as we got back from the trip, I was admitted to the hospital for a week. And I also had my my Apple computer that we use for all the merchandise and everything like that. It crashed, and so it's a little bit of a struggle, and we got to go through and manually go back and try to figure out all the orders so we can get them shipped out. We had a pretty good system down, and we didn't have that backed up, so we're working on that as well. But to those that support the journey, those that buy merchandise, those of you that watch these videos, guys, it means the world to us. And if you could go check out Maddy's page at Lady Gangster, and you'll see a pretty cool perspective from there. I know a lot of you guys or a lot of you guys and girls, and it's amazing how many young kids that come up to us, and you know, young kids that come up to us and watch these YouTube videos. And we're gonna do our best to be the best role models we can for this sport. There's a lot of good in this sport, and there's a lot of good people in this sport that are very different from us. And when I say that, they're good for the sport because they draw attention to the sport. They bring things to the sport, or elements to the sport that the sport wouldn't have without them. But we try to roll a certain way, and we try to live our life a certain way that is our way, and we try to live it, you know, with the best morals and character and everything we can. Don't get me wrong, we're human, we all make mistakes, but those that follow us and appreciate what we are, who we are, and what we do, it's a big difference, and we appreciate it. And we appreciate all of you that support us for not just being racers and stuff like that, but support us for our love for the sport, and support us for our love for the kids that come out and are introduced to the sport. We greatly appreciate it. So guys, we're gonna end this video here. We're gonna do a video in the next couple days. We'll post it out of Maddy. What's it called? What you want to do? Of you?
Confessions of Lady G.
Confessions of Lady G. We may even let that go out on her page. Confessions of Lady G. So
we should get some like questions from people.
Yeah, if you guys have any questions, drop them down in the link. Like and subscribe. Y'all that support this journey. We don't make much money off of YouTube. Some of you people think we're killing it. We make an honest $100 a month off of YouTube, and it's not about the money.
On a good month.
On a good month, yeah. But it's it helps us reach out to a whole lot of people that aren't on Facebook or aren't on other social media platforms, or you know, so on and so forth. And it's this YouTube stuff. It's pretty cool, and we're excited to see where it takes us, or even if it doesn't take us like anywhere, right? Even if it doesn't become a, I don't know. I don't have intention of becoming a full-time YouTuber. I just want to be a full-time memory maker, full-time liver. So that's our goals here, and we're excited for it. So thank you guys. I appreciate it. See ya at Magnolia tomorrow. Don't poke my out. I ain't feeling good. Let's go.